On this episode of Doing the Most, we're over at Charlie's place
Here we are.
to record 3 tastings.
I heard, so you did a whole like poll of who should taste this?
I did. So y'all know my friend Charlie. He was in our Mead Feast episode, and he's been a friend of the channel.
We got to do that again. That was fun. We got to find
people
some
are
pairings.
asking for it.
Okay,
so
I'm ready.
I think
I'll
we
cook
should.
something. You tell me what you want me to cook, and I'll do it.
You hear that?
I'll cook.
Mead Feast round 2. Charlie also did the photography for my Mead ebook, and I think we'll do a discount code.
Yeah.
So take a look at the bottom of the
Check it
screen. We'll give you a discount. The holidays are coming, so it can be a little digital gift.
It looks really cool.
It is really cool.
It is cool. I told somebody else, and they were like, "Whoa, this is awesome." I was like, "Yeah." And they're so how you do it? And they're like, "Whoa." So,
Yeah. Great feedback on that book. People love it. People love the photography. So this is the guy. This is the guy behind the pictures in the Mead book. So what we have here are 3 different iterations all on the same thing.
Okay.
So are you familiar with Kilju?
That sounds illegal.
Yeah, it could kill you.
Okay. No.
It's a sugar wash. That's what we call it in America. It's basically a wine that is made from just sugar, water, and yeast. And in this one, I've got a little bit of nutrient, and there was a little bit of tannin, a couple other things in here. But basically, and you can tell by the color of this,
It's clear.
it looks like water.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is what is in bottle 1.
Okay.
Then, with the remainder of that batch, I also did what's called freeze distilling. And I think you've had my Applejack before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same process that you use for Applejack. So you freeze it, and then in this case, I froze it in plastic bottles, turn them upside down. The alcohol thaws faster than the water, so you can draw off the alcohol, and the water stays behind as ice, and then you discard the ice. And so you can take what was 12% and ratchet it up almost to 30%.
Yeah. Keep ratcheting it up. You know me.
So this is about 25%.
Okay.
And so this is the sugar wash, this is freeze distilled, and then this version is what actually came out of a still. So
So that's gonna be more potent, correct?
This is about 35%.
I'm just hold that right there. No.
Yeah. So that's more like what you would get in like a Central or South American style rum, where they proof it down to about 35% so you can drink it on the rocks and
Gotcha.
enjoy your day, right? And so these are both made from this, all from the same batch. And so what we're gonna do today is just taste through them and talk about how the flavor transforms. Because a lot of new brewers, especially in the like hooch community, a lot of times their goal is to drive the ABV up as high as possible. Like, I just want to make something, get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times there's like a complete disregard for what that's going to taste like.
It's like the moonshine mentality instead of like, but does it taste good?
Right. I mean, it's American mentality.
Right.
We're always trying to take things to their logical extreme.
Right.
So I thought it would be interesting to use one single batch to kind of walk folks through the potential of what they're making.
Gotcha.
Right? And now this is not something that people should be making at home due to federal regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do this at home. This is technically not legal. However, you're just using science.
Yeah, it's
right?
like you're Bill Nye the Brewer guy.
You're using your freezer.
Yeah.
Oops, I left it in the freezer too long. Well, I guess I better thaw it out. Oh, whoops. The alcohol thawed out first. You know.
Gotcha.
So really, technically, neither of these are things that you should be doing at home. This video is for informational purposes only. This one is a thing you can do at home, and this took about 2 weeks to ferment. And then within about 3 or 4 days, it dropped crystal clear.
Which is cool, because like a lot of stuff on your channel and stuff that you do, I watch, and you're like, this is great, and we'll try it next year. And I'm like, but wait, I want it to a week.
I started this, I think, late October.
Right.
I want to say it was the 20th of October. So this is not even a month old yet, already in bottles, ready to drink. And of course, we have the products made from. So we're going to open these up. We'll start with the 12%. And I should warn you, I don't know that any of these are going to be good. I have not tried any of them.
This is fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Alrighty.
So this one is the Kilju. And I guess
that's not foreshadowing, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
What, and I don't know if you may have answered this in a video you've done in the past. What first got you into this whole brewing and creation process? You know, I'm in podcast mode just because that's what I do, but yeah.
So
it smells good.
I was in my 20s.
Okay.
And very poor.
Yeah.
And my friends and I like to do game nights, like every Friday or Saturday. They'd come over, we'd play card games, board games, whatever, and we wanted to drink.
Yeah.
Well, that gets expensive.
Yeah.
And so I started researching. I was looking at a forum called Winemaking Talk and seeing people making wines out of lemonade and iced tea and Skittles and things like that. I was like, I can make wine at home if it's that easy.
Yeah.
And so I went to the brew shop here in Oklahoma City. It's off of Penn.
Yeah.
And for like $60, I bought a whole kit that I could brew 6-gallon batches with. And so I started making wines that would end up being like, you know, a 1 liter bottle would be like 60 cents.
Yeah.
Right. So it's stupid cheap.
Right.
And so I kind of caught the bug from there, and then I got good at it.
Yeah.
And then I decided I would show people on YouTube what I do.
Gotcha.
And so it kind of just manifested from now. And
I don't think I ever asked you, and like I thought about them as you were doing that, and I was like, okay, he has to screw this bottle out. I can ask him a question about this because I never know. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was born out of necessity.
Awesome.
You know, I could not go spend $30 on a bottle of vodka at the liquor store every week. But what I could do was pull out a bunch of recycled bottles that are filled with hooch, essentially, and we could all, you know, drink, you know, mix it with juice or whatever we had to
games.
do.
Everyone loves a good game night.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Cool.
So this is it. I just want to do tasting notes. So smell it, taste it, talk through it, pretend you're at Mead Stampede.
Ah, here we go.
I don't want to tell you what I smell because I want to see what you smell.
It's a little musky, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. Not in a bad way, but it's like, so the first sniff I got is like wine, and then you smell sweet, so your brain goes mom's wine cooler back in the day. But
like
right, but here's the good part: the musky part gives you back. Okay, here's alcohol though, so it elevates it, so it's not a cheap wine, Zima, whatever those were.
Yeah.
So there's something else behind it.
Oh, you can definitely smell the booze in
Yeah.
there.
So that's the part I was like, okay, it's not your wine cooler, but it's still, it's light, but then the viscosity of the beverage is still coats a little bit. It's
leggy.
Yeah.
What I smell is bread. And it's like a yeasty character that I always notice in a sugar wash because there's nothing else. There's not a fruit or a honey or anything to disguise just fermentation.
I would say it is sugar, which is weird. It's sugar forward. Like if you've made your own simple syrup and you pulled it off, it's that, but there's still that musk behind it that masks into something else to me.
Well, it's so interesting. This fermented dry. So there is no residual sugar in here, but this tastes kind of sweet.
Oh, yeah, it's sweet. I would say sweet.
But per the hydrometer, which is the tool that we use to measure the density of the liquid, all of the sugar was gone. So this is sweet. I mean, really, probably it's an ester from the yeast that creates like a sweetness in there. But a lot of times you can ferment something totally dry and still have like a perceived sweetness. Like you're almost tricking your brain into thinking it's sweet, and that's what we're getting here.
Interesting.
But you're right; it tastes kind of like simple syrup.
Yeah, but yeah, like I can get it. Like you sip it, and I'm like, what flavor? It's like, is this supposed to be peach with it, or is it supposed like you're looking for the fruit component because it has that sweetness level of what you would get in a fruit drink. But it's not there, so you're like, wait, something.
yeah. There's not really anything else notable.
Right.
There's no, you know, sometimes you'll get phenolic flavors that taste like clove or tannic flavors that are creating like an astringency in your mouth. There's kind of none of that.
It almost feels like this is a base for what it's going to be. Like,
and that's how a lot of people will use this.
Okay, that makes sense.
They'll ferment it like this, and then they'll add something else in secondary
peppermint extract for Christmas or something.
No,
like
for
that.
real though. Yeah, stuff like that where you kind of create a neutral-ish base, and then you can, you know, the world's your oyster.
Right.
And if you have it properly stabilized, those ingredients, if they have sugar in them, will not ferment out, and so you're not going to get any weird fermented flavor either. So you could stabilize this, put apples in it, and then you're going to get that pure apple flavor without getting any of the cidery flavor that you would get from fermented apples.
Yeah, it tastes like it's ready for whatever flavoring is supposed to go into it, which is like, it's sweet and ready. Now, what do you want it to be next?
Super interesting.
To me, it's definitely sweet. Like it's not syrup, but it's sweet. Or am I making it up that it's sweet?
I think your brain is thinking it's sweet. Kind of like that we were talking about the capsaicin.
Yeah.
Tricks your brain into thinking you're in pain.
Yeah. Oh, I was in pain that day.
Well, but it makes you think you're burning.
Right, yeah.
But actually, it's just your receptors saying that you're burning.
Like, don't do that again.
Yeah.
I'd do this again.
Okay, so let's say out of 10.
Like to just drink on a regular day?
Yeah, you're going to throw an ice cube in it and sit on the couch and watch a game.
Okay, you know me. I like my whiskey. I'm like, give me the punch. So I would say like 4. I give this something. Give me something. If I would take. Okay, let me say this. I would say 4 now. You give me this, and I got something sparkling, and then a flavor of something.
Okay.
I could make a fun cocktail with a base of this, and like, okay, let me throw in something a little pungent, a little strong in there, and then throw in like some bubbles.
Okay.
And this could be a great cocktail thing to make.
Orange zest and club soda.
You could do orange zest and club soda. I would say freeze like some peaches or raspberries. Put that in there to ice it to get it colder, because I bet this would be really good, really cold. Throw some club soda or ginger ale over it, and then let that break it down, and let that.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like macerate some strawberries in
with
sugar.
Mint.
Ooh, strawberries and mint, strawberries and basil.
Basil.
And then take that syrup and mix it with that. A little carbonated water. Yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay,
I think it's nice.
I think adding something else in there. Oh yeah, I'd be good.
I think it's nice. Okay. So now we're going to try the version that has been freeze distilled.
Okay.
So basically, this has been doubled in strength.
Yeah.
And also doubled in whatever flavors that we experience.
So it should mature.
Because you're not removing anything but the water ice.
Okay.
Right? So this is like this on steroids.
Gotcha.
It's ramped up. So Charlie is working on launching his own YouTube presence. I will put a link to that in the description.
Yeah.
Do you want to like give the elevator pitch?
So mostly it's kind of podcast format, but it's really being, those who know me, I'm a crazy Disney nerd. That's just who I am. So mostly it's conversations about Disney. I've done some theories about some upcoming movies. I know I've done Mufasa Theory 1, Mufasa Theory 2, which it's a little late now, but Mufasa Theory 1 came out before the second trailer, and I was like 80% right.
Yeah, no, we went out for beers and he was telling me about this theory, and I was like, okay, I can see that. And then 2 weeks later, the trailer drops, and I was like, wow, that Charlie just outlined the movie. Here it is.
So I've been doing these theories, and then what's been fun, I've been getting some friends to get on. So like the first podcast is our friend Nicole, and we just talked about a gamut of things, like all kinds of stuff. Now you can tell it's our first podcast because it's just an hour of us just talking about Disney, which I could do forever. But I also did one with my friend Betsy, who's 8 years old.
I saw that. Yeah,
she just had some ideas she wants to talk about because I took my first trip to Disney. Freeze Jack Kilju.
This I'm a little nervous.
That sounds
about.
like a villain's name. Freeze Jack Kilju.
It's like Incredibles 3. It's like
Jumanji 4. Freeze Jack Kilju.
So I'm a little nervous about this one. I'm not gonna lie. Applejack is usually pretty good, but every now and then you get a miss.
Yeah.
And I'm a little nervous about this one.
All right.
The nose is more mute than the just straight Kilju. It's that face tells me a lot about what I'm about to experience.
Here's a problem, and it's not a problem. It is exactly what you said. It is stronger.
Okay.
It's like the last one on steroids, because you'll take the sip and like in about 2 seconds it's gonna hit your nose.
That's boozy, man.
Yeah. So I was in that moment of me. So like for me, like I said, I like it boozy. I like a stronger. So I was like, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really hit you up front, but as soon as you exhale,
it's like when you have a regular alcohol, like a whiskey, and you sniff it and you're like, there it is. None of that is it. None of that is here
until you breathe it
It's
back
not
out.
until you drink it and exhale it that you're like, oh, it's right there.
Yeah. Okay. I was a little nervous about this one, but I think that in the vein of what we were just talking about, as using it as a base liquor for something else, this has all the advantages of the original, except you wouldn't have to water it down as much because it's double the strength.
Yeah. We make, like, I'm going to just say this now. I'm putting this one over the other one. And you're going to be the opposite, probably.
I'm leaving these bottles with them. Okay. Talk me through the actual flavor profile.
Right.
Though.
So let me go forward again. So that musky flavor I was talking about earlier is stronger. So it's just like you said, everything's stronger and also more potent.
Mm-hmm.
It's still sweet, but it doesn't feel as sweet as the last one to me because there's so much of the alcohol, which I know sugar breakdown, but
yeah,
it's more of an alcohol feel. Like right now, I even felt it right here in the chest just hit me.
Mm-hmm.
So it masks the sweetness a little bit, but the flavor, I get more of that slight musk. And I don't know what, maybe that's the yeast that you were talking about earlier.
When we're tasting at competition, a lot of times we'll call that fermentation funk.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a catch-all term for those flavors that happen through fermentation and generally age out. And you're usually catching fermentation funk when you're drinking something that's younger.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
you'll get it in a cider that's 3 weeks old.
Gotcha.
But if you put that same bottle back for 6 months, you're not
gone.
going to pick it up then. It's a matter of aging. And so, yeah, I think that bready, yeasty, musky thing is part of that. And in here, it's amplified.
Yeah. I think the only reason like it's amplified to me is because just like very similar to the other one, just the Kilju, whatever you called it.
I don't want to do a spit take
Right.
in the studio.
You're looking for the pronounced flavor that you would get from drinking something else, and since it is a water sugar base, there's no default base to it.
Right.
So what you're grasping on is, I think, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, obviously, is scent. So you're making the scent the flavor because the tongue does not have, there's apricot or cedar or something like that.
Right.
You're only smelling that fermented process, possibly, like you were saying, being there.
Yeah, the sweetness is definitely amplified, and it's still crazy to me that there is no residual sugar.
It's
in here.
wild.
Like, that is all something happening from the fermentation process. That is not sugar. There's no sugar in here.
That's wild.
Isn't it weird?
It's very weird. Like I know you made this, and I know you're telling me the truth, but I don't believe you.
I used all the tools of the trade, perfectly calibrated. But no, this is like like esters amplified, which I love, because I know you're a whiskey guy.
Yeah.
I know you understand like sour mashes and peating and how all that works. A lot of that, for those of you who don't know, a lot of that stuff starts out in your mash. Like you do a sour mash, and then when you distill it, all those esters and acids are transformed into flavors. So
Okay.
I'm very curious
What-
how all that plays out in here,
Huh.
because it has been transformed. And this was double distilled. This went through a what they call a stripping run, and then a spirit run. And so this has been double distilled. It should be very, very neutral, or as neutral as it's going to be. However, you'll notice it's 35%. That was not done through proofing down. So this wasn't 80%,
Right.
and then we used spring water to proof it down. This was done by running the tails long in the distillation process.
So it elevates it instead of being.
Well, you're getting leftover flavors from this
Yeah.
running out essentially in the water as you're running the end of the distillation, and so some of the flavor of this is going to end up in this.
You know what's weird about this, in a good way? Like, and I figured out what was making me go, "What's happening?" There's no heat.
Yeah,
So like when you drink a whiskey and you get that, people drink it and they go, "Ha."
yeah,
I could chug this
25%.
and there's no ha at all. But in your nose, you still get
Yeah.
the heat.
Yeah, you
on
can,
it.
you can feel it coming out of your lungs when you
Yeah.
exhale. Which is, you know, that's how a breathalyzer works.
Oh crap! I'm staying home. We're good. Oh, this is
Super interesting.
this is
This is a thing I've
cool.
never done. I've never done this before.
This is really cool. Thank you all for voting for me because this is fun.
Yeah, so we voted. I put this up in the Doing the Most Discord, and the members of the Discord voted for Charlie. They had a few options.
Thank you.
Charlie got voted. And what was interesting, the commentary was, we love Charlie and we never get to see him and we want more of him. We'd love to hear these other people's take on this, but because we never get to see Charlie, we're gonna vote for him too. And I'm like, guys, Charlie's a super taster. We're like, it's gonna be great. So I was texting Charlie. I was like, I don't know, you're in the lead right now. So
My plan was if I didn't win, I was just going to show up when he was recording. I was going to sit in the back and pout.
instead, you're getting to
I'm gonna try it.
that trip to Flavor Town.
This
here.
is interesting. This is cool.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave those bottles with you. Let's move on
Okay.
to the big boy. This one is 35%.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, in like Central and South America, a lot of times they'll run rum to 35%.
Okay.
Big rum and Coke fans down there.
Mhm.
And I had it in Nicaragua. They had, it was like understood that you would buy a bottle of rum and it came with a bottle of Coke and you were supposed to drink the rum on the rocks and then just chase it with Coke as needed.
Gotcha.
But the rum being at 35% was just so smooth and crisp. You almost didn't need the Coke.
Yeah.
It was really lovely.
Nice.
And it's
Like-
hard to find 35% rum here in America. A lot of times it's 40%.
That's true.
And that extra 5 adds just enough of a burn that it like adds an edge to it.
And rum is already so sweet. A lot of times, depending on especially with all the different manufacturers how they make it and stuff like that. And that's why you have so many Cuba Libres and everything like that. And you're like,
Right.
I gotta give me some mint or something to break it.
Right.
But like,
Right.
this is interesting.
Yeah. So this is done in that style. So it should have a little bit of this zhuzh still in there. But this is as shine gets.
Yeah. Look
right
how
here.
clear it is. So,
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm not sure how much to give you.
We'll
You're a
see.
whiskey guy, so I trust that you can handle it. But
I'm sure I can handle this one. What is that? This tastes like liquor.
well, yeah, one would hope.
Like this is what's that? There's that meme. Oh, that's liquor.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is.
But it's still clear. Like if I was to define what is liquor by itself without any kind of flavoring, that.
Yeah, I mean, in essence, what you're
Interesting.
getting here is a vodka because it's basically just a sugar wine being run multiple times through a still.
Interesting. This is dangerous. This needs some friends with it. Like my brain said, give me pineapple juice.
Oh, yeah.
Give me some pineapple juice. I still want some sparkle, something in there, little razzle dazzle.
But you see what I mean? That when you take it down to 35%,
Yeah.
it becomes just drinkable.
Mhm.
You don't do that
Yeah.
that you do with something that's 40 or 50%.
This one, people would be able to smell on my breath though.
Yes.
Like if I was walking by and I was like, hey, and they'd be like, hey.
Yeah.
These other ones are like, you'll smell it, you feel it, you smell it when you exhale, but it's gone. This is a blend of, it's not a blend of rum and vodka. Because to me, it doesn't carry as sweet as those other two, but there's still enough back notes of sweet where it makes me go, or maybe I'm thinking it again, but it makes me
and
go.
alcohol is sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
So it makes me go, I could do a Cuba Libre, but then my brain goes, nah, this needs pineapple.
Yeah.
And
I can
this
see
is
that.
real interesting.
Yeah, no, this would be great just on the rocks. Like you could sip this. I
Yeah.
think you would still want a chaser. I think you'd want, a bottle of Sprite or
Something with
something.
it, yeah.
But it's a relatively neutral spirit. You do get a little bit of that sweetness. I'm not picking up any of
No.
what you called musk.
That's gone. That's
from
gone.
From the other
This
ones.
is just alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's relatively neutral. There's nothing.
It's very neutral.
There's nothing rummy or tequila-y or any of that.
This is when you would sip and you'd go, the closest anyone could compare would be, like you said, vodka. Because you would go, what does this taste like? And if you're like me, vodka tastes like nothing.
Generally, a good vodka. A
So,
charcoal filtered vodka.
So you're like, for this, you're just like, this is base. It's
liquor.
wild that you did that. Like, and how long was this process?
To distill? So we talked about fermentation takes about 2 weeks, and then about another week or so to clarify. Actually running, so this was a 1 gallon batch.
Right.
Actually running that through takes a couple hours.
That's wild.
So the Kilju you rated at a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, that was the
Okay,
one that was sweet, little musky flavor.
The
was right
freeze distilled, I don't think we gave a ranking to.
I didn't, but I would elevate it.
Okay.
I think the freeze distilled, because it gave me a little bit more of the alcohol, like I'm here to drink moment. Still not the level of drinking I would do, but like I would give that one. I was ready for it to make a recipe with it. So
Okay.
I would say that one. I went from a 4 probably to a 6.
Okay.
Because I was ready to play with that one. I was ready to make. Can I make that an 8 now after playing with it?
I'm around a 6 to 7.
Okay.
I was very surprised by that. I got the alcohol hiccups now.
Got you. Shows how much whiskey I'm constantly.
Yeah, I'm like that drunk on Andy Griffith show. Just put me in the cell, let me out in the morning. Yeah, I'm surprised by that one, and so I'm ready to give it a 6, maybe a 7.
Yeah.
We'll go 6.5, right? So running it through the still, where do you land, Charlie?
Do you want just me having this glass and just drinking this?
Yes. Just no ice, no. You know how they do, like a little sprinkle of water. None of that. Just drinking it straight up.
This is tough. I would almost put this. Here's my problem, because I see the potential, so I'm like, I know where it can go.
And I think that's a little bit how you rated the freeze distilled.
It is.
So go ahead, fold that in.
I would, and that's the thing is, like, I kind of have them.
Fold it in.
I'm gonna go 6.5
That's it.
because
This is artisanal.
I know exactly what my brain is. I know where I can take it.
Yeah,
So I'm taking this at a base level because I know when I start playing with it,
Yeah.
I know where it's going.
Yeah,
So that's fair.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like this is,
It's a lovely
Because
neutral spirit
it
with
is.
a slight sweetness.
and I think that's the thing why I have to leave it at 6, because it is so neutral. I'm looking for a smoky note. Oh, I have a shipment coming. We gotta talk. I'm looking for. I'm processing like it's. My brain is saying something's missing when it's not. It's where it's supposed to be for what it is. But I'm wanting something else. So I'm craving for that next piece. I'm craving for the smoke. I'm craving for the wood. I'm craving for a fruit, something. So my brain's saying it's almost there.
Yeah.
It can do
Okay.
it. I'm enjoying it. I'll finish this tonight.
So you're at a 6.5 there.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm at like a 7.
Okay.
I really like a good neutral spirit.
Uh-huh.
In my younger days, I was whiskey. Mostly bourbon.
I have canned pineapple in the refrigerator, and I can't wait to pour that in here.
The older I get, I want a nice white rum.
Okay.
You know?
And that's maybe where it is. I'm not a white rum person. Actually, I don't think I'm very rummy at all. So like when everyone went in the college phase of the Captain Morgans and those things, even white rum, it was just too syrupy. So it was white rum taste. Yes, it's just.
Right? White rum tastes like vacation to me.
Oh.
Like that's
Well, I just took my very first vacation to Disney, so I don't know what that. Okay.
like that's what it is for me.
Gotcha.
I think with an ice cube or two, this is good binge watching TV kind of drink. But
Gotcha.
what I love about this, like obviously I hadn't tasted any of these, so I didn't know. But what I love about this is I brought in an unbiased third party, voted for by y'all.
Y'all did it.
And even he says, you know what? There's promise here.
Yeah, I know exactly what this one, the strong one. I'm putting that canned pineapple in it immediately. Maybe some ginger ale. These other ones, there's some fun stuff that you could do with this when it comes like if you want to make a holiday treat. No, I wouldn't do that. I was trying to think. It was like what's like a Christmas drink? People do like eggnog and stuff like that. I wouldn't do that. But like, what else could I?
Like a hot butter bourbon.
Yeah, I needed something that didn't already have the sweetness. I'm like, let this be the vessel for sweet, and let me find something bitter and throw that in there and let it be something fun that way.
I think you mentioned cranberry earlier.
Yeah,
like
something bitter like that. Yeah.
little cranberry juice, maybe some like muddled cranberries
Macerated.
and orange zest in the bottom. Like that, yeah. There's a lot of things you can do with this. So don't sleep on it.
No.
You can make sugar wash, aka Kilju, and I have videos on the channel about the processes. It's educational only. The processes of freeze distillation and how to distill. So check those out. I'll put the link in the description, and as well, I'll put the link to Charlie's new channel in the description. If anything, subscribe to his channel, follow him on Instagram. Yeah, like I said, he's the magic behind the mead book, and at the bottom of your screen will be a promo code for a few bucks off of the mead book.
Check it out. It's super fun. It was a cool project to do too.
It was a lot of fun
Yeah.
to do. Charlie and I, here's a little bit of a secret. Almost everything for that book was shot in a single afternoon.
I almost said it. I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that.
Like a 4-hour period, we're running around. Like I'm filling a glass while he's shooting something somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, this one's ready. And he comes over and shoots that one. It was a lot of fun.
Like BC had to get on to me because like he gave me the stuff to do it. Oh, matter of fact, I have your honey jar. I'll give that to
Oh,
you.
yeah, I was thinking about that
I set
the
that
other
aside.
day.
I was like, this will get back to him. But I was like, I need some type of inspiration. And then we went to go shoot it. And where we were at, I was like, this is the inspiration I was needing. And we were like, bam, bam, bam. And within like,
We knocked it. It was
I don't
like
know
4
how
hours.
many hours, but
We
like,
just
yeah,
knocked it out.
And we just found the elements that just went with the beverages, and it just looked super cool. So like, so much fun.
Yeah, no, people love it.
Yeah,
So
it's cool.
thank you for your help with that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Obviously, again, follow all of his stuff. And until next time,
Yeah.
happy brewing, happy maybe distilling,
Yeah.
and cheers.
Cheers.
Homemade brews and various how-tos, everything from mead to roast, bake creation, fermentation, inebriation, doing the most.